Okay, class of tears. This is part two. Part two of this whole situation is there's two parts in part two. One, when you cry wolf. When people have experienced people crying wolf, they tend to not believe people that are telling the truth, right? So, the other side of the danger in crying wolf is if you cry wolf and someone believes you, white women, and that was not a quotation because I meant that. If you cry wolf and someone believes you, then black lives are lost, right? And the freedom of black men is lost, right? But on the other hand of that, when the tears are genuine, when the story being told is genuine, it becomes hard to believe because people have become hardened because they've experienced so much dishonesty in crying wolf and those that have cried wolf. So when someone like me, who is 12 years old, goes to the police station outside of my black skin, they don't believe me because they've seen this before. They've read this story before. They've heard this story before. So they don't believe me. And then I become the perpetrator, so to speak, because now I'm getting questioned as if I did something wrong, right? That's the danger. It changes the fabric of how people are treated, or how people who are truly victims are handled. It changes that fabric outside of the fact that me as a black person, as a black woman, black child, or a black teen, outside of the fact that I already have a struggle because of the systematic racism with being heard, with being believed, you've just made it all the more harder, because if they can't trust white women's tears, they really can't trust a black woman's tears, right? If they can't trust a white girl's tears or a white child's tears, then they really can't trust the tears of a black woman or a black child or a black girl, right? Teenager. So people become re-victimized when they go to report their stories. So this is the danger in weaponizing tears. This is the danger in it. And as a parent of a daughter and sons, I fear, that wow, people are really not having these conversations with their children. People are really not telling their kids that it's not okay to be dishonest, period. But especially when you could cost someone their life or their freedom, people really are not having these conversations. We're really not facing the reality of the world that we live in. And like I said in part one of what I'm talking about, this is not something new. This did not just start happening. This has been happening for centuries. For centuries. White women tears are weaponized to the point of starting massacres, wars, right? And being the cause of black lives lost, or the freedom of black men and children being lost to the point where now we're seeing things like people being exonerated from 30-year-old cases, from 40-year-old cases. I even read where the little boy who was 14, who was executed, I think it was 70 years later, they exonerated him. Well, that won't bring him back, right? That won't bring him back. And had he spent all that time in prison, he would have been able to walk out of prison, but who could have ever given him back the time he lost? And then we like to throw money at it. Yeah, that's not the answer. The answer is being certain. The answer is being certain. The answer is de-weaponizing. The answer is dismantling the system that is in place that allows for the color of my skin to make me guilty. That is the answer. So I am a full-on component of dismantling. Where originally I was backing defunding, but now I'm backing dismantling. And for all of you people, yes, I said you people, or for all of those that will get into these comments or that will have a conversation to say, if you don't like the police, then don't call the police. Tell them don't take my fucking tax money. You don't get to say that. You do not get to say that, right? You don't get to say that. So please do not come with the gaslighting, because it's unacceptable and I'm not having it. Let's face the facts. Stop responding to debunk what I'm saying or to devalue or to stop, right? Don't do that. Let's really talk about the problem at hand. Let's talk about what's really going on, okay? Because they made it a trend to show how they could weaponize their tears, how they could turn them on and turn them off at the drop of a dime. And then they smiled and grinned at the end of it with this evil ass grin, like it was okay, right? And I'm pissed at that. I'm very angry because, like I said, twofold. I can come at this problem from both sides of the coin. One, having a son who was falsely accused and wrongfully convicted, right? One, being a victim who was not believed. And I left the police station feeling worse than I felt when I walked in. So I'm tackling this thing from both directions. From both directions. So don't come at me like I'm hurt because of my son. And I'm wounded, right? Or I'm a kick dog, or don't come at me like that, because like I said, I'm arguing both sides of this. I'm arguing both sides. I'm advocating for my son. And then I'm advocating for myself as a woman who was a victim, who was not believed. So I'm on both sides of this thing. So please don't. Because after I tear your head off, because that's what I'm going to do, after I tear your head off, then I'll more than likely block you and just be done with you. Because see, this is not a time to look for holes in what I'm saying. This is a time to ask the why. Why is this okay? Why is it okay for white women to do this? And please don't come saying, well, black women do it too, or Hispanic women do it too. Well, don't say that, because like I said, I've already addressed that. Yes, it happens in every race. It happens. However, it is the tears of white women that are weaponized to the point of massacres, wars, loss of lives, and definitely loss of freedom. Everyone else does not have all that power, right? So please don't do it. It's gaslighting, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it. And a lot of people who make those arguments have never been in the shoes either way. And like I said, I've been in both sets of shoes. So I'm arguing both points. So you cannot come at me like that. It's not going to work. It's not gonna work. It won't work for you. So don't do it. You've been warned. I just want to know, and I understand that we have the Innocent Project and stuff like that, and I am going to reach out to them because I fought tooth and nail. I filed paperwork to get information, and it was so delayed that because we filed an appeal, all kind of stuff, and it was in juvenile court, which is even the workings of juvenile court is totally different, especially in California, than anywhere else. So I filed and asked for paperwork and I asked for it to be expedited. And it was some 2-3 months later that I received the paperwork when I needed to, when you file an appeal, I think you have 45 days and you attach the information. Well, if I received it 2 or 3 months later, that means that that information was not attached to the appeal that I filed, for my son. So that's a whole nother problem, right? I want their help, but I know the sad part about it is I know that they're so inundated with people who are currently serving time that are innocent, right? That my request may sit on the back burner for so long that my son is liable to be 50. And I think that it's so wrong, that in itself is wrong. We're supposed to be based on a system of innocent until proven guilty. Well, that works for everybody except people that looks like me. We go in there fighting from behind. We're already judged. We're prejudged. And you can't say that it's not true, because if that wasn't true, then the race of either side, the victim, the alleged victim, or the alleged perpetrator, would not matter, right? If this was true, it would not matter. It would not be something that would have to be read into the court case. It would not be something that would have to be outside of the police taking the report to identify who the alleged perpetrator is. That should never matter, right? But it does. It does. So we show the hypocrisy in our judicial system. It's so interwoven that it can't be denied, right? It can't be denied. And this is why I say dismantle, not defund. A whole change needs to happen. A whole change. And so that is where I will focus my energy, because I have been awakened, right? This whole fight has been awakened. I am angry. And I know you may be expecting like screaming and cursing because I'm angry, but I know how to be angry and not be hostile, which I don't care either, because you guys tend to make Black women out to be hostile because we have bass in our voice, or when we raise our voice, or when we move our hands, or when we move our head, you tend to make us out as being aggressive and hostile anyway, the whole angry Black woman thing. So I really don't care. I don't care about that, right? Don't perceive me to be anything. Don't worry about my behavior like that. Worry about what I'm telling you. Listen to what I'm telling you. Research what I'm telling you. And get angry with me, right? Get angry with me. That's how, that's where I am. That's how I feel. Yeah, I will be doing more videos now, because I am definitely taking a TikTok break, because I'm not with trend. I'm not with trend, especially if trend proves to be something that could be devastating to the lives and the well-being and the freedom of someone. Yeah, I don't do that kind of trend. So, thank you. I appreciate you for taking the time to hear me out. Hopefully, I inspire you to do something you always wanted to do or to support something you always wanted to support. Do me a favor, click like, click share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you.